Okay, fourth grade, this is homework for this week. We're going to be doing page 171, and it's about tenths and decimals. So the first problem says, write the fraction or mixed number and the decimal shown by the model. Think, the model is divided into 10 equal parts. Each part represents 1/10. So they're telling you that is 6 out of 10, 6 tenths, or decimal point 6 for 6 tenths, because this is the tenths place. And if you forget or you get confused, here's a little reminder. Here's the one in Spanish. Whole, ones, decimal point, tenths, hundredths. And if you turn the page back here to page 169, here it is in English. Ones, decimal point, tenths, hundredths. So this number is 64 hundredths because it ends in the hundredths place. So here you're going to look at this model. This one's completely shaded in, so that's a whole 1. And how many tenths? So it's a mixed number. It's going to be a number with a whole and then a fraction to go with it. That's your mixed number. And then you're also going to write the decimal that it represents. So 1 will be, I'll give you a little clue. 1 point, how many tenths do you have? That's number 2. Now here you're doing it on number line. So this number line goes between 2 and 2.5. So it doesn't go all the way up to 3. This is right in the middle between 2 and 3, 2.5. 5 is half of 10, so this is also 2.5. So here you have 2 and no tenths. So this would be 2 and 1/10. This would be 2 and 2/10. They want you to say what this would be, 2 and how many tenths. So this is 1/10, 2/10, something, 4/10, 5/10. So how many tenths is this? Don't forget the 2, because it's also 2. 2 and some tenths. You're just going to write the fraction. Then over here, you're going to write it as decimal. All right, so here it's 4 and no tenths. And here you have 4 and 5/10. So this is obviously 4 and 1/10, 4 and 2/10, 4 and 3/10, 4 and 4/10, 4 and 5/10, and so on until you get here. So what number would go here? And then you're going to write that over here as a decimal. So obviously it would be 4 point, how many tenths? Here you're going to write the fraction as a mixed number, or a mixed number as a decimal. So here's your fraction, 4/10, write it as a decimal. 3 and 1/10, so this is going to be 3 point, how many tenths? This is 7/10, and this is 6 and 5/10. So this is going to be a whole number, a decimal point, and then how many tenths? Here you have 9/10. So you're writing all those as decimals. Here we have a word problem. There are 10 sports in the equipment closet. There are kickballs. 3 are kickballs. Write the portion of the balls that are kickballs as a fraction, as a decimal, and in word form. So if there are 10 total and 3 of them are kickballs, 3 out of 10. So you're going to write, don't worry about the word form, write it in fraction and decimal. So 3 out of 10. Here you have 2 pizzas. Each pizza is cut in 10 equal slices. Peyton and a friend eat 14 slices. So if one pizza is 10 slices and they eat 14, you know they eat at least one whole pizza and then a couple slices from the second pizza. So what part of the pizzas did they eat? So this is going to be a mixed number because they definitely ate at least one whole pizza and some out of the other pizza. How many tenths of the other pizza? All right, your next page. Valerie has 10 CDs in her music case. 7 of the CDs are pop music CDs. What is the amount written as a decimal? So 7 out of 10, what would that be? How many out of 10? So you're thinking of the fraction will be 7/10. So what decimal is that? Which decimal is modeled below? So you know you have a whole 1 and then you have some tenths. So which one of these shows that? Which number, now this is a review, so which number is a factor of 13? That would be a number that you can multiply by something else and get 13 as an answer. 13 is a prime number, so remember that. You can only get it by multiplying 13 times something. An art gallery has 18 paintings, and 4 photographs are displayed in equal rows on the wall, with the same number in each type of art in each row. Which of the following could be the number of rows? So 4 times which one of these is going to give you 18 paintings? All right, how do you write the mixed number shown as a fraction greater than 1? All right, this one's a little bit trickier. So you have 3. This is 3 2/4. So you have to think about 1 whole. If you're talking about fourths, 1 whole is 4/4. And here there are 3 wholes. So there's 4/4, another 4/4, and another 4/4. That would equal the 3, and then 2/4. So some people just do it by multiplying 4 times 3 plus 2, but I like to think of it as 4/4 plus another 4/4 plus another 4/4 plus this 2/4. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2/4. Which one of these would be that? Which of the following models has an amount shaded that is equivalent to 1/5? So they're not showing you 1/5. They're showing you 2/5 here, but they want one equivalent to 1/5. This is a trick. So I would start by multiplying 5 times 2 and 1 times 2. That's going to give you a new equivalent fraction. Do any of these show that one? If not, try 3 times 1, 3 times 5. Do any of these show that? So you're finding an equivalent fraction, finding the model that matches it. All right, that's all of that. Here you're going to write the fraction or mixed number and decimal shown by the model. Think, the whole is divided into 100 equal parts, so each little square is 100. So here they're telling you 77 of these squares are colored. You don't have to count every one of them. You can count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 77. So 77 out of 100. 77 hundredths, because this is your hundredths place it's ending. Now here you have a number line. It's in hundredths. They go all the way up to, I think, probably like 65 hundredths. So here is your 0 hundredths, 10 hundredths, 20 hundredths. What is this dot? It's the number right before 30, or the last one in your 20s. That many hundredths. So you'd write it as a fraction, and you write it as a decimal. Here you have a whole 1, and you have some tenths and a few leftover shaded. So what is, it's going to be a mixed number, 1 decimal point, and then this fraction. Here you have another number line. This one also divided into hundredths, but it starts at 4. So it's 4 and 20 hundredths, 4 and 30 hundredths, 4 and 40 hundredths, 4 and 50 hundredths, 4 and 60 hundredths, and then it looks like it's 2 past the 60. So this little dot is on 62. So you're going to write that down here, excuse me, as your mixed number and your decimal. All right, here you're going to write the fraction of mixed number as a decimal. So you're just going to take 37 hundredths, write it as a decimal. 8 and 11 hundredths, write it as this is a whole number, decimal point, fraction. 98 hundredths, 25 and 50 hundredths. So you're going to write this as a decimal. This is your whole number, decimal point, fraction. And this is, you're going to write the 6 hundredths as a, be careful with this one. You're going to write this one as a decimal. There's nothing in your tenths place. So when you look back on that chart for that number, there would be a 0 here. And then the number would go in the hundredths, because there's nothing in the tenths place there. You just have a 6. It's just as though 6 little squares are colored in. All right, there are 100 pennies in a dollar. What fraction of a dollar is 61 pennies? So 61 out of 100. Write it as a fraction and a decimal. Don't worry about word form. Kayla has collected 100 souvenir thimbles. Thimbles are little things you put on your thumb when you're sewing so you don't poke your finger, but it doesn't matter what they are. 100 souvenir thimbles from different places she has visited with her family. 20 are carved from wood, so 20 out of 100. What fraction are those? Write it as a fraction and a decimal. And finally, last page. 4th grade students at Harvest School make up 0.3 of all the students at school. What fraction is equivalent to 0.3 3. So which one of these? Kyle and her brother have a marble set. Of the marbles, 12 are blue. This represents 50 out of 100 of the marbles. Think 50 is half of 100. So it sounds like half of the marbles are blue. Which decimal is equivalent to 50 hundredths? Jason won his race by 3 45 hundredths of seconds. What is this number written as decimal? 3 45 hundredths. Marge cut 16 pieces of tape from, oh, you know what? I'm going to have you skip this one. Skip this one because we haven't really done very much with this lesson yet because we kind of go out of order in this book. And skip this one, but you can do this one. Of Katie's pattern blocks, 9/12 are triangles. What is 9/12 in its simplest form? That means you're going to divide down. So you're going to divide this number and this number by the same thing. You can divide 12 by 2, but you can't divide 9 by 2 and get a whole number. So try by 3 and see if it's here. And then if you get an answer here, that works. See if you can divide it again. If not, you have it in its simplest form. And that is it for your homework this week.